Comrade Sue, changing around the country. Wakey Wakey, it's Danny Lakey.
Sex.
Let's have sex.
I had sex with her.
And life.
I'm gonna live my life.
With Dr. Nikki Goldstein.
Hush, Dr. Nikki Goldstein. We cannot speak yet until I play this important warning.
This is not a practice warning, not a drill.
The following content is about to get a little loose. It may contain traces of sexual nature and nuts. You've been warned.
3, 2, 1, let's go.
I've also been set a small challenge by the people higher up in the organisation, but I can only say the word sex 3 times during my chat with you tonight. Just trim back your naughty content, mate. All right, fine. Innuendo it is. Dr. Nikki, the relationship expert / sexologist, is in the building. Hello, Dr. Nikki.
Hello. Now, because I am the sexologist.
Whoa, easy there.
It's like a plumber.
No, Dr. Nikki doesn't count, producer
No,
Jack.
because it's to do with my job. So it's like a plumber not saying the word pipes.
Yeah.
So a sexologist not saying the word sex would be criminal,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Don't listen to producer Jack in there. He's putting all sorts of rules and boundaries on the show.
Was that Jack's voice in the opener?
I don't know whose voice that was. No, I don't think he's in, but he's just chiming in. He's on sex. Oh shit!
Once.
Okay, he's on the count tonight.
Okay,
he's part of the suit and tie brigade.
Can we get something like if you say the word sex a certain amount of times, do we all get like chocolate or?
No, I just get in trouble tomorrow.
Oh, this is now a challenge for me to get you to say the word sex.
No.
All right, done.
Well, they said, hey, can you get Dr. Nikki in tonight, but just don't talk about making love.
You know I can talk about things other than
I know.
sex. I'm a smart woman.
It's called Making Love and Life with Dr. Nikki Goldstein, the relationship expert. I thought, you know what, 2 can play that game. What about we talk tonight about not making love? I'm talking about, is it healthy to be in a relationship? Maybe you've been in a relationship for like 20 years. I don't know, high school sweetheart, and you're 35 now, or you've been married for 30 years and you're like 50 now, and you've just lost all spark, but still really, really love each other. And you'd never even thought it was a problem that you're not really getting intimate anymore. Is there a way to sort of exist without making love in your life?
I actually think as a society we have too much pressure to have sex, right? And that's a funny thing coming from a sexologist, but it's like we have all these sexpectations to be looking like some porno and having it 5 times a week, and everyone's scratching their head going, when do we have the time? So if you're in a relationship where you both actually don't want sex, I can say it, you can't, then it's okay if that's what you both want, because the problem is it comes down to sexual compatibility, because this is still sexual compatibility, right? If one person's saying, I really don't want to have sex anymore, or I really don't want to have a lot of sex, the other person's saying, I still do, then we have a problem.
Yeah, right.
But if you're not going to be having physical sex, then it's still important that you differentiate the relationship to a friendship. How do we make a companionship different to just the friends that you have in everyday life? And that's where we need intimacy.
Yeah. Kisses, touches, free licks. Do you think if a couple was kissing for like 45 minutes straight, heavy petting, intimacy, sweet nothings in the ears, nose rubs?
Nose rubs? You mean an Eskimo
nibbling,
kiss?
yes, all those sort of things. What if they went for 45 minutes and neither of them was turned on still? Is that a problem? Because surely after 45 minutes of intimacy, push has to come to shove.
As long as that works for them. You know, there are people out there who call themselves asexuals. They're not having sex, or sometimes they are having sex just to differentiate a relationship from a friendship. But they're not saying that that's a problem necessarily. So, you know, if somebody is not getting turned on, then if the type of relationship that they're in has become less about the sex and more about companionship, and that's where they both are, then that's okay. But for a lot of people out there, they still want some level of chemistry, some level of spark, even if it's not sex and it's just kissing and it's just touching. You would want to hope that you can still get excited on some level as long as that person is not asexual. Yeah. But I actually think we also need to focus on the intimacy that is non-sexual, because that's what no one talks about. It's like we use this word intimacy and no one actually knows what it means or how to do it. But do we talk about being vulnerable with each other? I mean, I even think with intimacy, it's one of those things when you're in awkward situations, maybe your partner Dutch ovens you or something like that, and you both kind
Classic intimate move.
But it actually is because
Yeah.
so many people get embarrassed about things.
Yeah.
If anyone doesn't know what we're talking about, Dutch oven, it's farting underneath the doona.
Yeah, and then you make sure that you get your partner underneath the doona and you sort of make it airtight. They struggle for a while, but in the end, Dutch oven will seep into their pores.
But it's just one of those things that it's something that we're normally really embarrassed about.
Mm.
But when you can kind of laugh it off with your partner and make fun of it, that's where you start to see this intimacy because there's this connection there. There's this, I don't care about being embarrassed in front of you. I'm okay to be vulnerable with you.
You know what is an ultimate great little exercise for couples out there, vulnerability-wise? Get the guy to be the little spoon for a week. For a week, seriously.
that your challenge?
Cradle. No, one time, my ex, main squeeze Nikki, she was like, "Can I be the big spoon tonight?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm done with getting hair in my eyes. Like, go for it." Then about a couple minutes in, she was like cupping my small bosoms, and I was like, "Oh God, feel really like little here." And I was like, and she's like, "It's an exercise." I was like,
I don't
"Okay,
mind
cool."
being big spoon. I kind of think it works either way. But even sleeping together can be a challenge. You know, a lot of people are okay having like casual hookups and one night stands.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to actually sleeping in the bed, you've got to be intimate and it can be sometimes awkward. And you've got morning breath and you kind of look crappy in the morning.
Yeah.
Even that act in itself is so intimate and can really bind you together as a couple because we can think of all sorts of things that go wrong when you're sleeping and noises are happening and smells and...
Well, look,
Why do I keep going back to smells?
fresh.
We may not be able to talk about sex, but we are talking about flatulence.
Well, look, we can still open the lines for an Ask Me Anything for Dr. Nikki, the relationship expert. I mean, a couple of things that come to mind. Are you in a making love-less relationship at the moment? How are you intimate? Maybe you've got a question for Dr. Nikki regarding your intimate relationship or just your relationship in general. The lines are open. Are you asexual?
Are you asexual?
I'm
Now-
asexual.
I don't-
Asexual deviant.
Oh.
Oh, sorry, I'm going to get in trouble for that now as well.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to put a ban on you for making that noise. It's driving me up the wall.
I can make as many goose hops as I like. 131060. Give us a call. Dr. Nikki Goldstein, the relationship expert and sexologist, is waiting to take your call. We'll get into them next. Anything's on the table tonight. Wakey Wakey. It's Danny Lakey.
Planted.
Right around the country, Wakey Wakey. It's Danny Lakey, new stuff. Ariana Grande called Thank You Next. The dedication to all those exes before her. Doing this.
Let's
Sex
have sex.
I had sex with her.
and life
I'm gonna live my life.
with Dr. Nikki Goldstein.
Whoa, Dr. Nikki Goldstein, hold the reins. I just need to play this warning because there are still some 5-year-olds on their way home from school who may be in the back of the
This
car.
is not a practice warning, not a drill.
The following content is about to get a little loose. It may contain traces of sexual nature and nuts. You've been warned.
3, 2, 1, let's go.
Oh, God. Oh,
You know, the 15-year-old Nikki would be so happy that I grew up to be someone of controversy.
It's not you. They're fine with you. They're like, must be a sexologist if you want to say sex on the show.
I know. I'm so happy that I have that privilege that I can say words like penis and vagina and no one else can.
God, don't tempt me. Don't tempt me.
Penis,
Not only
penis, penis.
with the genitalia itself, but also saying those words. We've got some questions on 131060. People bringing in thick and fast. Let's go to Chris in Orange. What's your question to Dr. Nikki?
Well, my partner and I have been together for 5 years, and for the last 4 years, he's been completely, pretty much off sex altogether.
Oh,
And
so it's like
I just don't know what to do.
1 year on, 4 years off.
Yeah, so like we have sex, it's just very rarely.
Seldom sex.
Have you ever actually asked him what's going on and why things have changed?
So he's a stress head, so he's always stressed out. That's his excuse. But he's also got a condition called phimosis.
And what does
And-
that do?
So basically that phimosis is the shrinking of the foreskin, and every time he gets an erection, it splits it.
Okay, so you can understand that there's obviously something going on for him that could make sex feel very uncomfortable. But this
Yeah.
is probably really great to be speaking about since we were just talking about the issue of being able to have other things in a sexual relationship and other non-penetrative, I can never say that, non-penetrative acts. Because I think we do have this overemphasis on the fact that sex has always go to be penetration. And it's like there are ways to be able to connect. There are ways to even experience an orgasm that don't necessarily involve that. So I think if this is a matter of him not only being stressed, but also having sexual difficulties in terms of his foreskin, then I would be suggesting to explore more of those non-penetration acts so that you're still able to feel together, you're still able to feel pleasured, you're still able to feel like you can have an orgasm and have a sex life. It just doesn't have to be that linear of penis and vagina.
And who knows, maybe with that heavy intimacy for 45 minutes, his sausage will be bursting like a hot barbecue. Woo!
Yeah,
There's always
not
that option
very-
as well.
He's
he's just not very affectionate.
But sometimes
So
I think
it
also too, you
makes
need to
them-
lead by example. Like when people are not affectionate, you don't want to cross a boundary, but also sometimes too taking the reins and showing them how nice it feels to have their hand touched and to snuggle on the couch and stroke their arm and kiss them.
Lick
But you-
their eyebrows.
No, don't lick their eyebrows. But being able to say, listen, this is what actually feels nice, but at the same time, making sure that you're actually checking, are you taking it too far and crossing boundaries? There's that balancing act.
Yeah, good luck, Chris. I believe in you. I reckon you can swoon him back out of the cave easily. Kelsey on 131060. What's your question, Dr. Nikki?
Hi, I'm just wondering how to regain trust back. We've been together for nearly 4 years, and I have lost trust in my partner.
Can I ask why you lost trust in the first place?
Going behind my back numerous times, interacting with online girls.
Okay, so what we would call micro cheating,
Like
having
sort of like
conversations
webcam
and-
sex. Oh shit! No, I've used my three up
There
now.
you go.
Webcam intimacy.
You got him.
Yep.
You know, the most horrible thing with this is that sometimes it's only a matter of time. You know, until a time period has passed where someone's been able to prove to you, listen, I'm not doing this anymore. But I think you've also got to delve a little bit deeper to work out why was this going on in the first place. For a lot of people with micro cheating, whether it's chatting to girls on Instagram, looking at porn, or it's some kind of activity that's devious in terms of not telling your partner that it's going on, it's about that thrill and that excitement and that chase. And often that's something that's very separated from the relationship. But if there is something going on where they feel that they need the connection with someone else, maybe they're bored in the relationship, maybe they don't have that luster.
That's where I get confused, because I'm extremely adventurous. I'm all for trying anything. Like, that doesn't faze me. But he's very shy and conserved, and, you know, like he's... Yeah, it's just...
Why don't you try be the webcam girl? Like FaceTime him. Seriously, FaceTime him and just be like in this like...
girls are like the size of my leg, for starters.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You FaceTime him, you've got the big pink negligee on, and you act like that girl off livejasmine.com. Be like, hi, is anyone there? Hi.
But sometimes
I'm naked.
It's about
I don't
pushing
have
that
the balls
boundary.
to do that.
But it's about pushing that boundary for some people and that excitement of someone that's other than their partner. And it's something that you need to continually talk about. At the same time,
it
whilst
comes up quite often, yeah.
you know, continue to talk about that to try and work out why it is he did that particular act, why it led him there. But
Well, he doesn't have an answer for me.
Well, there's an answer in there.
There's an answer. Like
How weird.
when people say, "Oh, they're not coming forward," it's like you've got to keep pushing through with that because you've got to get to that point where you realise, why did it happen? If you can work out why it happened,
What am I not giving him for him to go elsewhere?
yeah, then you're able to get on that path of how do I gain that trust back? You're not going to gain the trust back unless you can work out why it happened.
Yeah, yeah.
The curious
Are some guys
case.
just into that sort of stuff? Like, is it something normal for guys to be into?
Oh, look, there's a lot of temptation out there. There's a lot of web pop-ups. And you want an innocent night on Pornhub, and then the next minute, 8 windows coming up, crashing your Google Chrome, tempting you into that dark, dark world of the webcam.
I think
Very
it's
tempting.
normal for men and women. I think both men and women sometimes like to feel
Needed from someone else?
needed, but also, you know, that
But
somebody
anonymous at
other
the
than
same
their
time.
partner is sexually into them. So also, too, you've got to balance out, is there a way that if this is what he needs, is there also a way that you can talk about this and say, listen, as long as it's just kind of chatting to people and it doesn't go any further, then maybe this is something that excites him and keeps him happy in the relationship.
Maybe you can both do it. You said you're adventurous. You can
I
both
was
be
all for
webcam.
that. You know what? I've already put it to him, but
well.
he's not keen.
Oh, what's good for one is not good for the other.
Yeah, we need,
Yeah,
we
I'm
need
not
to
a
get
fan
this
of
guy
that.
on the show. Yeah,
Let's
we
get
need to
him
on.
calling in.
Yeah, and the man with the split foreskin, both of them. Thanks, Kelsey. Cheers for that.
Thank you.
All right, another couple of questions answered. Thank you, Dr. Nikki Goldstein,
welcome.
the relationship expert. I'll see if my ban has been lifted next week.
Well, you did say sex 3 times, so
Yeah, I did it. I passed the test.
you're not supposed to say sex at all.
No, I
though.
can say it 3 times. I can say it 3 times.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was looking forward to knowing what the punishment was.
I literally just get a stern talking to and maybe a written warning. And that's all.
And next week I'd come in with the whip.
Yes. Sex, sex, sex.